recently why I think Nikki Haley would not win the Republican nomination. And I'm going to use this as an illustration why I believe that's impossible to occur. Yeah. That she doesn't have a chance in, fill in the blank. Think about this, and this is wild. Kyle Rittenhouse, who we know is a serial killer, and the Republican Party, they always claim to be pro-life, and here it is, they're cheering on a serial killer. That's his only claim to fame. But you all, it's not like they don't have other young Republicans that can run for office. There are reports out, media reports, that they're trying to groom Kyle Rittenhouse for political office in America. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, he's known for one thing and one thing only, being acquitted of committing 2 murders. And you want to groom him to run for political office as a Republican. Think about that. Now, Rittenhouse is 20. He's young, okay? But you all, there's somebody that really came into the American spotlight really this past August, September, who's also right around Rittenhouse's age, also a Republican, served in the Trump administration. Yeah. And yet this person is not even being talked about for political office. Yeah, this person has written a book too. Oh, I know. Rittenhouse took that picture giving the thumbs up with Trump. So he's in with the cult. They say as one door opens, another one always. As one door closes, another opens. Something to that effect. Rittenhouse is in the cult. Cassidy, Hutchinson, and Alyssa Farah, they've left the cult. But Rittenhouse, Hutchinson, and Farah, they're all Republicans. They're all conservatives. It just goes to show you that that party is completely now a cult. We might as well stop calling it the Republican Party and call it the Republican cult. Or the Trump cult. Yeah, they might as well just change the whole party. Yeah, can you imagine that? Grooming a serial killer over somebody who's got legislative experience, worked her way all the way up the Republican ladder to the point where she was the right-hand person to Mark Meadows, the chief of staff of the president. And now they just totally, she's politically unhoused. Yeah. She says she's a Republican, but the Republican Party, because of how fringe and cultist it is, they're done with her. They'd rather have Rittenhouse in political office than somebody like Cassidy Hutchinson. Yeah, think about that. That's crazy. That's why I tell you all, it's really no saving this current contemporary Republican Party. They're gone. They've totally gone fascist. That's what it is. Yeah. Now people are starting to say it, but I hate to say I told you so, but yeah, kind of did. And this goes to a larger point. This is why Nikki Haley will never be president. Nikki Haley is got a couple of things going against her. The first thing, she's a woman. In the Republican Party, yeah, no. You notice how they're trying to say that it's really a three-way race? Only in terms of money, not in terms of what the polls are showing. At least not yet. And I don't think that's subject to change. Say Trump falls by the wayside, which is a high probability, you know. It's looking iffy out there in Iowa. I'm just telling you. We'll have to talk about that in a separate time. But say Trump falls by the wayside. You know who's already going to inherit his supporters. Yeah, Ron DeSantis. They are never, this current contemporary Republican Party is never going to nominate a woman to be its presidential nominee. They're not going to do what the Democrats did. Yeah, in 2016. They're never going to do that. And also, Nikki Haley is a woman of color. Yeah, they're not going to do that. Yeah. If something were to have Trump drop out of the race, all of his supporters would go to DeSantis. Facts. Yeah. Look at all the evangelicals who've already supporting DeSantis in Iowa. Yeah, there's either evangelicals supporting Trump or DeSantis in Iowa. They're not even looking at Nikki Haley. Now, just like you hear a lot about how the black vote is important to Democrats, the evangelical vote is important to Republicans. Yeah, that's a solid group of people that always vote Republican. We act like there's not solid groups of people in this country who always vote Republican. Nobody ever talks about those folks, but, you know, except for me. They're not thinking about Nikki Haley. You say, why are they not thinking about Nikki Haley? Because it's predicated on misogyny. They don't believe that women should be in charge, lead anything, let alone a nation. Yeah. You're never going to get the white evangelical community to vote for a woman, especially a woman of color. That's not going to happen. Nikki Haley's best chance is in New Hampshire. Yeah, she does have a shot in New Hampshire. Now, here's where it could get dicey for the Republicans. If DeSantis can beat Trump in Iowa, and then Nikki Haley somehow manages to ride that momentum and beat him in New Hampshire, then you've got a race. Because he would need to win South Carolina, right? And that's no guarantee. See, Trump has to win a clean slate from Jump Street. He knows this. And his lead right now in Iowa is very fragile. I don't know if you all are paying attention to it. I'm paying attention to what's happening. You've got that far-right evangelical leader that just endorsed DeSantis. The governor, very popular out there in Iowa, just endorsed DeSantis. She's putting pressure on folks. You know, she's the governor. She's going all around the state touring with DeSantis. Yeah, Trump is trying to ride off the fumes of 2020. Yeah, he's trying to ride off the fumes of that. And you know, he's going to have a slip up next year. Everybody knows that. Now, I get JJ. Somebody said, why JJ? Because I think the slip up first is going to be in January. Yeah. I don't think he's going to do as well as he thinks he's going to do in Iowa. I really don't. Even if he squeaks on by and wins it, you know, he's been putting out there that he's 60, 40 something points ahead. If you don't win by 60 points in January, now that's a big letdown. So see, sometimes you don't want to do all this kind of boasting that you're this far ahead, and you know, he's doing the whole tortoise and hare kind of situation. I'm so far out in front, I don't have to do any work kind of. You never want to get cocky, you know. That's where the hare got in trouble. He's kind of doing that. Not wanting to debate. Yeah, he is, you know. He's riding off the fumes of 2020, which might carry him in Iowa. I'm not saying it won't, but it's going to be interesting to really find out what the final result is going to be. If DeSantis comes really close to winning Iowa, and Nikki Haley somehow beats him in New Hampshire, it's on like Donkey Kong. It's going to be a long primary process. Yeah. And that means spending more money that they already don't have. He can get money. No, that's not a problem. But the problem becomes the trial. The other primaries, you know, are in February, March. What starts in March? The January 6th criminal trial. Yeah. He's got to wrap it up by January. He knows this. They all know this. What's now a little bit in dispute is whether he can do that or not. I don't think he's going to be able to do it in January. Yeah. So the first slip up is going to be in January. The second one is going to be in June. June, I believe, right as the summer is begun. Because by then we're going to know a lot in the trial. You'll have had March, April, May. Yeah, by the beginning of summer, people are going to, you know, they're going to know a lot more. Let's put it that way. This is the thing about Trump that Republicans really don't understand. He's already at a cap. He can't go higher than what he is. He can only go lower. Yeah. All this crap you see on the internet about Trump 2024, you know, I kind of caution myself with that. Because I think it's inauthentic. Yeah. I don't think it's real. Yeah. Literally, I don't think it's real. Yeah. I think most of it is bots. Trolls. Yeah. You say from who? Our dear friends in Russia, you know, the people that did it in 2016, tried to do it in 2020, and are back to try to do it in 24. Yeah. I don't think that's really real. A lot of that is fake and inauthentic. And you know what? something intuitively tells me he doesn't believe it either. Yeah. Because this is not really, modus operandi of Trump. Think about it. I kind of know and watch folks. I watch very closely. And if you all notice something, Trump's whole campaign is predicated on polls now. This is something new because in 2016, he was telling everybody that the news media and the polls were fake. Yeah, any poll that ever showed him down was like fake news, fake news. Now he's just in love with all of his polls showing him ahead. Now it could be that, it's egotistical and narcissistic kind of stuff. Or it could be that, you're putting this out here to try to, present an image that's not really reality. Do I believe that he thinks he's that far ahead in Iowa? No. That's why he's concerned and posting those polls every day. The support in Iowa, I'm just telling you all, his support is very, very fragile. Meaning the tiniest misstep and he could lose a shit ton of his support. DeSantis knows this. And he's just standing in the waiting, ready to pick up the supporters. He's not going to say anything about it. Nikki Haley knows she doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell in Iowa. Those evangelical pastors were never going to endorse her. Yeah. Those are the same type of folks that would endorse Rittenhouse over Hutchinson if they were running together. Yeah. It's not about morality or anything. They're just deeply misogynistic. Yeah, that's the good old boys club. Yeah, so, the way I look at it, the Republican Party is throwing away a lot of its future talent. Yeah, it's throwing it in the garbage bin. The Democrats don't have to pick up the Republican, talent they're throwing away. Maybe that talent doesn't want to go over to the Democrats. See, this is going to be an interesting 24, this election. I keep telling you all that, but you really don't see what's shaping up yet. If the Republicans throw away somebody like Cassidy, Hutchinson, Alyssa, Farah, Nikki Haley, they might back President Biden in 24. They might not. It's up to them. But here's the thing. They're no longer able to stay in the Republican Party. Yeah. They're gone. They have to go because the Republican Party is a cult. It's a cult of one individual, Trump. And if Trump doesn't like you, you have to go. Yeah. Would they support DeSantis if he got the nomination? I don't know. I get the feeling, here's how I would view this about those three. We're just talking about Cassidy Hutchinson, Alyssa Farah, and Nikki Haley. Let's say DeSantis is the Republican nominee and not Trump. Nikki Haley, I believe, would endorse DeSantis. Although, I don't believe she would go out of her way to really campaign for him. Because he's going to more than likely, he's already selected his VP. I don't know if you all are watching this. I'm watching it. DeSantis already selected his vice president. Kim Reynolds, the governor in Iowa, he selected her. You know, if he had to pay $95,000 to get that evangelical leader's endorsement, you know he promised Kim Reynolds the VP slot. Yeah, that's his vice president. That's the ticket you're looking at. That's why they're campaigning together. That's the ticket. So Nikki Haley seen that, he sidesteps her to go with another woman who's not even in the running, in the race. When she's polling, in double digits in New Hampshire, she's been out campaigning, she's going to feel a certain way about that. So she'll endorse him, but you won't see too much of Nikki Haley if she doesn't get the nomination. Alyssa Farah. I think she's going to end up backing the Democrat ticket. Really do. I think so. I could be wrong. I don't see her endorsing DeSantis if he's the nominee. He's conservative. He's not Trump. But you look at what's going on in Florida. That's going to be a huge issue next year, what's happening in Florida. It's a lot of stuff that's happening that's, not being reported as of yet. Yeah, DeSantis is somebody that's not likable. I can't see Alyssa Farah backing DeSantis even if he's the nominee. Yeah, I can't see that. Cassidy, if it's DeSantis, no, I don't think she would back DeSantis. Because, if she worked directly up close and personal with one person who wanted to be a dictator, and then you look at how DeSantis is handling Florida, his dictatorial rule in that state, firing DAs and things like that. She's going to go been there, done that. Yeah, I've seen one dude turn into a dictator in front of my eyes, and this is looking like you're running a dictatorship, so no. Think about that. Two young, talented women who are Republicans and conservative at that. They're not just Republicans. They're conservative. Yeah. Generally, we don't really, have very much in common. But oddly enough, this year coming, we might have a lot more in common than a lot of us really had imagined. Because this is going to really be about whether you want authoritarianism. And people really, they don't really, that hasn't sank in yet. It's going to. Yeah. I'm personally, no. I don't want people to, sick supporters on people and, come and find people because of how they support or live and be persecuted for that. No. That's what authoritarianism is. Yeah. I cannot see DeSantis or Trump winning in 24. They're not palpable to the general society. To a large segment, see, this is what confuses people. To a large segment, they are. But as an entirety, they're not. No. DeSantis was too close to Trump. That's why he'll inherit Trump's supporters and Trump's baggage. Yeah, DeSantis is going to inherit Trump's baggage. You say, what baggage? Suppose Trump is not the nominee, it's DeSantis. Then the story turns to, if DeSantis wins, will he pardon Trump? If you got all of his supporters with you, you know you're going to have to tell his supporters, I'm going to pardon him on day one. DeSantis already said he was going to pardon all the January 6th insurrectionists as soon as he got in office. Yeah. So that becomes a campaign issue. Oh, you want to let all the people who attacked our nation's capital off the hook, scot-free. Yeah. See, he's going to have to own those kind of things. Yeah. Everything that becomes Trump's baggage is going to become DeSantis' baggage. Now, with Nikki Haley, actually, the Republicans could have avoided this. Nikki Haley has been kind of smart in terms of how she's positioned herself. She hasn't said anything about January 6th and pardoning any of those folks, which is smart. She also hasn't really weighed in on whether she would pardon Trump or not, which is also smart. Because what she's going to tell you all is simple. That's between him and a jury of his peers. Yeah, what that outcome is. It kind of looks like, how are you going to tell us, you're the leader now. Think about this, you're the leader of a country. And you as a leader say, you know, the judicial system found all of these people, I think it's around 1,100 people at this point. It found them guilty of committing various crimes on January 6th. And all those people who are serving for what they did, you're going to say a jury of their peers made incorrect determinations in all those cases and give them pardons. Yeah, think about the message it's going to send to the nation. That if you do something that egregious, just because somebody politicizes it, you're going to be able to get away with it. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like condoning what they did. It's almost like condoning it, being in support of it. In actuality, it is a form of support. If you don't think somebody who does something egregious should be punished for their egregious behavior, then you support it. Yeah. By de facto, yeah. Exactly. So DeSantis is saying he supports the insurrection without saying it. Because if he's going to pardon all those folks, he supports it. Yeah. He's going to have to inherit that from Trump if he's the nominee. Yeah. Do I still think Trump is probably more than likely going to be the nominee for the Republicans? Yes. Because, you know, he's got a large cult. And DeSantis and Haley are both, you know... Here's what I think about that in all actuality. I don't really buy the theory that if DeSantis got out of the race, his supporters would go to Nikki Haley. No, I don't buy that. I think the vast majority of DeSantis supporters actually would go to Trump if he weren't in the race. Nikki Haley supporters, they more than likely would go to DeSantis if she weren't in the race. I think it's maybe like a 70-30 breakdown of her supporters. 70% would go to DeSantis, 30% to Trump. If it's a two-person race, say it comes down to Trump and DeSantis, If I'm a betting person, my money is on Trump. DeSantis doesn't have a personality. Yeah. That's his biggest problem. He doesn't come across as somebody that's palpable to the citizenry. Yeah. No. Now, this is really for a separate, I guess, conversation, but yeah, we'll bring that up at a separate time. With the Republicans throwing away their young talent, you all, here's what I think is going to really happen. Maybe not in 24, but certainly by 26. Cassidy, Hutchinson, Alyssa, Farah, and a bunch of other young Republican conservative women who don't want to be associated with MAGA. You know, people like Jenna Ellis is out of the club. It's going to be a lot. I believe they're going to form their own political party. Yeah. I don't think they're going to be Republican or Democrat. I think they're going to form their own political party. And you know, yeah, people like Liz Cheney, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. Tara Setmeyer, it's Jennifer Horn, because, you know, people might not want to keep voting Democrat, but they're certainly not going to want to be MAGA. And that's an opening that's wide open. Yeah, that's a wide open, you know. It's a lot of people the Republicans are throwing in the trash for cuckoo for Cocoa Puff crazies. I think it's going to hit some people in 24. Like Lauren Boebert, she's gone. I don't, even if she runs for re-election, I told you all, you know, I think this past at the beginning of the fall in September, I said she shouldn't run for re-election. She should, you know, retire. That would be smart for her to retire because she could save face, some face. If she runs for re-election, it's not gonna go well for her. A lot of MAGA in 2024, it's not gonna go well for them. A lot of it. Yeah, a whole lot. They're trying to figure out how big the loss is going to be. I don't think we know just yet. Because think about this, they're throwing away a lot of good people. Yeah. Cassidy Hutchinson was a conservative up until September of this year. As soon as she separated from Trump, she's gone. Doesn't mean that her policies or her thoughts have changed anything. It just means she doesn't want to associate with Trump. But to modern contemporary Republicans, she's gone out of the party. Same thing with Michael Steele. Yeah. You're seeing it. People are like, man, it's so many. It's so many. And what I'm telling you all is more is coming. They're going to be in good company pretty soon because there's going to be, I tell you what's going to happen. They're going to look around and say, wow, there's so many of us. Why don't we form our own political party? And then they're going to challenge the MAGAs. You say the MAGAs are going to call them rhinos. They're not going to be Republican. Rhino stands for Republican in name only. They're not going to be Republican. They're going to be something else. Adam Kinzinger, yeah, all of these people, they're going to start their own. They're not going to stay over there with the Republicans. Mark my words. they know that's over with. You know, in essence, that's why I think the evangelicals are fighting in Iowa. We got to talk about that, y'all. It's an all-out war. A lot of this is not being reported. I'm following all of it. Yeah. I'm looking at that. They brought Rittenhouse in. They brought Rittenhouse in. Kicked out Cassidy, Hutchinson, and Alyssa Farah. These are two young women who worked their way up the Republican ladder. Yeah, they kicked them completely out. Tell you something else. Isn't Vivek Ramaswamy trying to kick out Ronna McDaniels, the head of the RNC? He's trying to kick out the head of the RNC, Ronna McDaniels. Watch that story. Do I think he's going to be successful? Maybe. If Ronna McDaniels goes forward with another Republican debate, Trump is going to also call for her to be removed. She knows this. If Trump calls for her to be removed, then you know what happens, right? So currently, right now, he's blackmailing Ronna McDaniels. He's telling her, you better stop these debates or else I'm going to call for you to be removed. And the way we know he's doing that is because he told Vivek Ramaswamy to go after her. Vivek Ramaswamy is only doing what Donald Trump wants him to do because he's the mouthpiece, the person of color mouthpiece for Project 2025. Yeah. He's telling you what they're going to do for 2025, the project. Yeah. He wants to have a leading role in the authoritarian genocidal Project 2025. He wants to be one of the big boys in that. He's not angling to be a VP. Somebody said he's angling to be VP. No. He's angling for a cabinet position. Yeah. Some type of cabinet position. Maybe an ambassadorship. He'll take whatever they throw to him. Yeah. You know how people like that are. Yeah. Put Cassidy, Hutchinson, and Alyssa Farah up against Vivek Ramaswamy. His claim to fame is he's a leader of volunteers at a hospital. That's what I'm telling you. These guys that they're finding, Rittenhouse, Ramaswamy, they got no experience, you all. Are you seeing this? And the young women who worked in the Republican Party who have all this experience, they're just throwing them to the side. Do I think conservative women see this? Yes. Yes. Yeah, they do. You'd have to be as blind as can be not to see it. Yeah, they see it. That's why they're crying in court, apologizing, and coming out and telling you they don't think that he should ever be near 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue again. They know they fucked up big time. Because now they're looking at people like Kyle Rittenhouse who have no talent, straight up murder, being groomed for political office. And these are people who worked in legislative affairs, campaigns, and things like that. Just totally like being called all kind of hideous names on the internet. You know, there was a conservative dude who said that Cassidy, Hutchinson, and Alyssa Farah were pimps and, prostitutes. Yeah, because they wrote books. But notice he didn't say that about any of the male Trump staffers who have written books critical of the president. He only went after those two young women. Yeah. Misogyny is huge in the Republican Party. That's why I said Nikki Haley will never be the Republican Party nominee. Yeah. That's like saying Tim Scott was going to be the nominee. Come on. Yeah, we knew that wasn't going to happen. Do I think people will call it out? 24, everything's getting called out. Yeah, in 2024, everything's getting called out. You know how incensed they have to be about it? The Rittenhouse is getting all this play and they're not. Put yourself in their shoes. Say you've worked years in an organization. You've given this organization years and years of dedication, and you've been a really good worker. Here comes somebody that has no experience whatsoever in your entire industry. Rittenhouse has never done anything political in his life, period. All we know, he's just, nothing. And the only thing he's known for doing is murdering 2 people. And you want to groom him to be in office and not somebody who's worked, their entire kind of career in it? The only conclusion you can come to is that they're doing that because that person is a male and the other person is a female. Yeah, it's glaringly obvious. And you can say, oh, well, that's just one example, but there's numerous examples. They say Alyssa Farah got a job on The View. Well, why didn't the Daily Caller hire her? The Daily Wire. Why didn't she get a podcast deal with Charlie Kirk? It's not like they're short on dollar bills, right? Yeah, ask yourself, why did she even need to go over to ABC? Where was the offer from conservative media? Newsmax, OAN. You know how many media organizations conservatives have in this country? Vastly more than liberals. That's a fact. Yeah, why not Fox News? They could have made her a commentator on the 5. They could have turned it into the 6. Easily they could have set this woman up. And yet, they didn't. So when that happens in politics, you always got to ask yourself, why? Yeah. And with the Republican Party, it's simple why. It's a very simple why. Yeah. They'd rather have somebody like Kyle Rittenhouse, a serial killer, be in political office than someone like Cassidy Hutchinson, who I would agree made a mistake staying way too long in a cult, but has at least come forward and, been open and honest about it. More than what was really necessary. Yeah. Yeah, the future of the Republican Party is like, do you really think that's going to attract someone? Here's the thing. Everybody who was a Republican previously, even if they're critical of Trump now, they all bear some type of remnant to them, okay? So everybody's hands are not exactly going to be clean. But you look around and see who it is that, has really made changes, really, saw the con for what it is. And then if you see other people who are being groomed and they're part of the con, then you don't have a place. That's what people are seeing. They don't have a place in the Republican Party anymore. Yeah. Can Rittenhouse win? In certain areas, yeah. I don't think he's from the South, though. No, he's not from the South. Because he was in Kenosha in Illinois, so he's in the Midwest. It would be hard for him to win in the Midwest. Let me put it to you that way. They'd have to stick him in a certain area in a certain legislative district. And then he would maybe, because the district is so conservative, maybe. I don't know. Because his celebrityism cuts both ways. His celebrityism gives him high name recognition. But he's known for one thing. Even a lot of Republicans, believe it or not, they're not necessarily going to be rushing to vote for a serial killer. You're going to have an opponent who's going to keep bringing that fact up. Yeah, in a primary, you're going to have opponents, and then in the general, you're going to have an opponent that brings that up. They're going to constantly remind the voters, you are only running because you're a serial killer. Yeah, somebody's going to say the only reason you're running is to get a job because nobody else will hire you. Period. Yeah, the whole rebranding thing is not going to work. Yeah, that's not going to work. Well, see, here's the thing. I don't necessarily think that Cassidy Hutchinson has to rebrand herself on the same extent as Kyle Rittenhouse, To my knowledge, she didn't murder 2 people. So it's not even in the same ballpark there. Yeah. Being naive and easy to deceive and being, young and gullible, going along with something not really knowing what it was going to be until it was clearly presented to you what it's going to be, that hits different. Yeah. That hits different. But still, there's the accountability component of it. Yeah. The accountability component of it for somebody like Cassidy and Alyssa Farah is that they're politically unhoused now. That's huge. I don't know what they done told you all, but that's huge. This independent stuff, that's going to get a lot of traction. I intuitively feel this independent stuff is going to get a lot of traction. A lot of people are frustrated with the 2-party system, and they're looking at the Republican Party, and it's not even a party, it's a cult. So it's like, why even bother going over there? Yeah, it's going to be interesting, to say the least. I just thought I'd bring that to you all's attention, how they're just tossing their youth to the wolves. Yeah. Literally. And this is not bad talent, for some of them, they might have to go to another industry. Politics might not be it. They might have to go to another industry. Yeah. Education, tech, anything. Yeah. it's crazy that you would take somebody that's a serial killer and try to, rebrand them and try to make them a politician. Yeah, imagine all the work. You have to do extra work. For Rittenhouse, they really have to put more polish on him. Somebody like Alyssa Farah Hutchinson, they don't have to put a lot of polish on her. She's just anti-Trump. Yeah, they can still rebrand her and say she's a Republican. With Rittenhouse, you can't really put lipstick on that pig. I don't know what they're trying to do, but that's going to be something that the American people say hell no to. They tried to get him into ASU. A lot of you all don't know this. The powers that be, the establishment, when they thought people weren't looking, when they thought the story had died down a little bit, they tried to get him into ASU. And you remember the huge backlash on the campus. The students said, no, don't bring that murderer here to our campus. And then they pulled that real quick. You all remember? Yeah, somebody said they remember. Yeah. No. He doesn't have many options. Oh yeah, he'll probably do an interview on Candace Owens' show, He'll go to other talentless people and, do the rounds. It's not gonna go the same way it did in 2020. Yeah, he's gonna see that quick. He's gonna find that out quick. It's a different ballgame now. Yeah. It's fitting that it's happening so close to the election year because he did that in an election year. So yeah, it's gonna hit different. Yeah. Will the NRA back it? That's a good question. I kind of feel that the grooming is being done by an element of the NRA. I kind of feel that an element of the NRA is doing the grooming of him. However, I don't think it's just going to go over too well. I just don't feel it. Yeah. And that's what the whole book and the book tour will be for. But I don't feel it's going to work. No. I feel like people have already made up their minds about it. And he's writing the book to try to continue trying to, tell people there was this justification that you didn't see or you don't know about, but the case is pretty well known. Yeah, it's not like it's a low reported case. You got people that are either strongly in favor or strongly opposed. That's it. And I guarantee you there's vastly more people strongly opposed to him than in favor. Back when it was starting in the trial, they were online harassing everybody that was saying that he was a murderer. That whole energy is sort of kind of toned down. Yeah. Oh, I was pushing back when it first happened. Go back and check it out. I was pushing back when it first happened because I knew what it was. I knew what they were trying to do. I knew that it would result to where we are now. See, you gotta be able to see things from a long-term point of view. I knew it was gonna get here. Oh yeah. And you ain't seen nothing yet. Cause when they didn't provide justice to the victims, I said there's gonna be other victims. I automatically knew. Yeah, I said there's going to be other people that do copycat of this. Because you're sending an example to the youth that this is okay. Yeah. Did they know there would be copycats? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. To the NRA, the establishment, it's a price worth it. For them to keep their AR-15s, whatever the loss of life is out here to us, it's worth it to them. That's how they look at it. It's worth it. Yeah. There's no changing that. We're never going to agree about that. I think some people are now starting to waffle. They're starting to have kind of mixed feelings about it now that it's happening so much. And you know, other people like me, they're starting to connect the dots back. Trust me, other people, now you start to listen to some people, now they're saying, wait a minute. Prior to Rittenhouse, we had maybe this happen once a year, maybe twice a year. Now it's happening daily. Tell me I'm lying. It's happening daily. How many thousands of his supporters were caping for him during that trial? I was watching. See, you all didn't know. But I was in the chat. Yeah. I was lurking. I was peeping and lurking. I was watching all of this. Yeah, I was in the chat. Sometimes I would make my presence known, but oftentimes no. I just wanted to see how sick some of you all are. And boy, oh boy, some of you all are very, very unwell. Deeply unwell. Yeah. No, there's no cure for this. There's no cure for it. That's why they're going into Walmarts in Beaver Creek, Ohio, shooting people and then shooting themselves in the vision section because they know there's no cure for them. Yeah, they know it. And this is a result of bad, how can I say this? The system failed the victims because they weren't prepared to go up against the NRA. They use Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse is just the vessel. The NRA used Rittenhouse. They gave him that $2 million. Yeah, that all came from NRA membership. I guarantee you, if I had enough time to, do the financial tracing, all that money came from the NRA. Yeah. Either the NRA or the evangelical community. And wouldn't you know, a lot of evangelicals are members of the NRA. Yeah. See, this is also something you all don't know. Yeah, they gave him that money. You know what else I suspect? I suspect that the NRA gave the judge some money too. Now I have no way of knowing this. It's just a suspicion. It's a hunch. I have a hunch that the NRA paid off that judge. Go and watch that trial again. The fix was in. Yeah. The prosecution did an excellent job. They really did an excellent job trying to prosecute it. But the fix was in. The judge, he was totally acting as the defense. He was on the defense team from Jump Street. That's obvious. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta look at people like that on the bench. Yeah. Just like there's justice in the system, there's injustice in the system. Yeah. Plenty of injustice in the system. Plenty. Yeah, watch it for yourself. Watch and see how they do. Do they know? Yeah, they know. Yeah. Another thing. Rittenhouse can get support of men. But I guarantee you, he will never get support of conservative women. Facts. They say bring the receipts. In 2023, you have to bring the receipts. You all know I always have receipts. Yeah. Didn't Tommy Lahren? Yeah, you don't even hear about her anymore. Where is she? Where the hell is she? Her and Candace got the claws out, but you don't hear about Tommy anymore. I hope she's alright. Because these conservatives, you never know. They keep serial killers around. Yeah, they laugh and cheer on serial killers, so you never know. I don't know. Yeah. Anywho, Tommy Lahren said that she thought it was inappropriate for Turning Point USA to invite him and have pyrotechnics come out on the stage, have music blaring, and have a welcoming like he's some kind of WWE wrestler. Yes, she did say this. Yes, this is a fact. Go and look it up. She said it made her feel kind of sick to watch somebody being cheered like he's some type of hero. And this person is a serial killer. And this coming from the pro-life people. Tell you all lives matter. In 2020, weren't they telling us all lives matter? Yeah. And I told you all just take the V off. All lives matter. Especially theirs. Because they are some liars. Yeah. But they've been lying for centuries, so they can't help themselves at this point. Yeah, they wouldn't know the truth if it smacked them right up in the face. They're some liars. Yeah. That's something that's, been passed down through the lineage. Yeah. It was a damn disgrace. They were cheering him on in that room. I was like, wow. He was being greeted like he was like a war hero. Like he was like a veteran of some type of veteran of the Vietnam War. You would have thought he was a war hero. The way they were cheering him on in there. Yeah. They got the tapes. They got all of that's on tape. All that's video. Sweetheart, all of this that I'm talking about, it's already happened. I'm not talking about things that will or may happen. This is already in the past. Yeah, Tommy said when she saw that, she said that made her sick. It should have made anybody that has a conscience sick to watch it. But you know what type of folks these are now. We all know. At this point, we know what they are. Yeah, they're not fooling nobody. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about 2024 and the rules for 2024. There are going to be a lot of rules for 2024. A lot. You be smart. I'll tell you all this. If you're smart, you'll listen to what the rules are for 2024 and you'll abide by them if you're smart. The rules for 2020 were simple too. Yeah. They said for your protection. You gotta really listen. If you blink, you'll miss it. They said for your protection. They didn't say for their protection. They said for your protection. Because they know. Okay? They knew. They said for your protection, we advise. Somebody said they don't know who the we are. You don't need to know who the we are. If it's good advice, do it. Okay? Yeah. They said for your protection, we advise that you wear a mask out in public. Remain 6 feet. Wash your hands. And stay home and stay safe. Reno said he was defending himself. How? When everybody was told to stay home and stay safe. When your ass got in a car with complete strangers, you testified this. You testified all this. This is a matter of the court. He claims that he feared for his safety before even going. Right? In a year where the public health edict is stay home and stay safe. Yeah. So you put yourself in, that's what the prosecution asked. They said you put yourself in harm's way when they were telling everybody to stay home and stay safe. And it was so harmful that you thought you would need an AR-15 and bulletproof vests. Yeah. Hey, let me tell you something. What goes around comes back around. Best believe it. And a lot of you all, you like ugly. But the universe, that's not its proclivity. Folks are going to find out, though. Folks are about to find out. Some folks have already found out. But even some of those folks, they're not done yet. Oh, no. All the people that wanted to embarrass, humiliate, harass, bully, torment, torture, murder other people. Child, get your affairs in order. That's all we got to say. Get your goddamn affairs in order. It's accountability season. Period. When did I find out it was accountability season? December of 2019. I can't remember where I was. I was in a room. It was dark. Very dark. It's December. I wasn't in this country. No. Very dark. Somebody came in and said, hey, have you heard this about what's happening in Wuhan? Now, I'm familiar with Wuhan. I'm very familiar with China. Most of y'all don't understand why, and that's a story for a different time. Because we have friends everywhere. And boy, do I have a lot of friends in the People's Republic. Lots. Lots of friends. Anywho, they said, have you heard about this coming out of Wuhan? I said, what is this? Be more specific. They said, it's a novel virus. I said, yeah, there's viruses all the time. But you said novel, right? Now remember, novel is something that's unique, never has occurred before. Never. It's novel. Okay? Something different. I said, what are folks doing? And then they showed the pictures of people. Spaced apart. Yeah. Everybody in hazmat suits on the street. Masses. Yeah. I said, oh boy. The person said, what? I said, it's accountability season. See, I knew right then and there. We were wearing masks in December of 2019. When you all's president was lying to you, I knew. I knew he was lying. Yeah, we all knew. Well, most of us did. Yeah, we knew. He was a liar, though. He didn't just lie about that. The New York Times said, hey, it was the Washington Post said he told 20,000 lies. So he was a liar. Pathological. Everything he said was pretty much a damn lie. Of course he's going to lie about a novel virus. Yeah. And it's an election year. And he's trying to become a dictator. Yeah, he's a stone step away from becoming a dictator. Oh, damn. Can't tell these American citizens the truth. The research says, go and look this up. This is independent medical research. We now know over 1 million American lives were lost to the virus during 2020. Research came out by the American medical institutions in this country that said 2/3, let me repeat that, 2/3 of those deaths were preventable. Had the president repeated the same public health edicts, his own public health advisors, he hired, remember, he hired Dr. Briggs and Dr. Fauci. He hired them. If he had listened to their public health edicts, 2/3 of those folks who contracted the virus might not even have contracted the virus. But he was out telling you all it was just like the common cold. We're rounding the curve. The heat is going to kill it, even though they knew that he was already in Africa. They knew that he was already in the Caribbean, in Latin America. Yeah, they knew it was everywhere. Liar, liar, pants on fire. Yeah, he's a liar. Yeah, it goes to show you about leadership. If you have horrible and atrocious leadership, then the citizenry who follows the leader will suffer. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it was horrendous. I tell people that didn't live in this country some of the stories and they can't believe it. They say, there's no way that happened. Then I Google and show them the story. I said, there it is, read it for yourself. They can't believe what the Americans did. A lot of people can't believe it. Yeah, it's hard to believe. They say hindsight is 20/20, right? I'm telling you. If hindsight is 20/20, I tell you what, whatever you reaped in 2020, whatever you did, prepare to have the harvest. Yeah. It's not like everybody did bad, though. Some people were doing really good. Their harvest is going to be really good. So not everybody. But it's a good chunk of people. How was MAGA behaving in 2020? You all remember how MAGA was behaving? All those Karens. You all remember MAGA, how they were behaving? You remember Candace Owens justifying the lynching of George Floyd? Isn't she having a rough time of it right now? Wait till 2024. Yeah, you know. Some folks think they can get away with it. Well, that's because they don't understand. You're not getting away with it from an individual or another creature. No, it's none of that. Yeah, see, that's that hocus pocus stuff they be telling you. No. No. What goes around comes around. And karma. Karma. Don't they say karma is a bitch? In 2024, people are going to be like, boy, karma is a bitch. Yeah. It definitely is going to be a bitch in 2024. I'm telling you, everybody's going to be saying that in 2024. They're going to be like, karma is a bitch. But hey, that's not a bad thing in today's society. Yeah, people be slinging around that term all the time. Who were the worst offenders in 2020? Who were the people behaving the worst? You all remember? I do. It'd be nice to see him again, right? Yeah. It'll be nice to see some of the worst offenders in 2020 again in 2024, right? We're all looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, keeping up with the horrible people of 2020 in 2024. I'm looking forward to seeing how well they're doing for themselves. Yeah, it's gonna be nice to see them. Yeah.